name is Matt Turner, President and CEO of Rockhaven. I've actually been working on this project since 2010. I actually negotiated the deal for the core claims in 2009. That was when my beard was nice and red, and I think it was sometime during our 12-year bear market that it went white. But anyway, we all evolve, as Gandalf did with in Lord of the Rings. Now I'm called Greybeard out at site, where it used to be Redbeard. But so anyway, what I'm getting at is that when we started out in 2010, we've basically gone out every year, and we've looked at whether it's adding ounces or making new discoveries or doing engineering work, doing metallurgy. Every year it was a focus. This focus coming up for 2026 has got us more excited than ever before. And so basically the plan is, and you can see the high-grade mineralization in the excavator bucket there, and this is something that most junior explorers can never end up doing, but that's turning their rocks into cash. And that's our focus for 2026. Again, it's John mentioned it, we're still waiting for the permit to actually be able to complete this, but we're confident we're going to get that before the summer starts. I will be making forward-looking statements, of course, in this presentation. So we've been running this company now for 19 years, and we've never rolled back the stock. We're sitting at 292 million shares outstanding. Market cap is about 60 million or so, a little bit more now. We're at about 24 cents. And working cap is getting low. Stay tuned. We're going to be addressing that shortly. I think, funny enough, though, with about 300 million shares outstanding, we're actually fairly tightly held, which is funny. We've got about 60% of those shares held by three groups, one being Strategic Metals, the other Condire Investors, and then management directors own another 10%. So it's kind of unique out there for having 300 million shares outstanding. John gave us a nice plug back in early September. And that kind of started the movement in the share price. We're up about 500% now over the last 6 months. And, I think sitting in the crowd here, I wouldn't think that this run is over. I feel like we're in the second inning of a 9-inning baseball game. So it's, I think there's still a lot of value to be seen here. So now we're looking at the main exploration area for our flagship Classic Gold Silver project. So first off, it's in the Yukon. It's in the Dawson Range Gold Belt of the Yukon. So nice general topography, fantastic place to work. A couple major deposits in the belt include the Casino deposit as well as the Coffee deposit. One of the things too that we have with our project is that we're road accessible, and that's really key. We're about 65 kilometers by road from the main one of the main highways in the Yukon and the power grid. So that's very important. Also, we own the project 100%, and it's getting pretty rare nowadays. We're royalty free, at least the claims that cover the main deposit. Since 2010, we've done a lot of work, about 130,000 meters of drilling in 630 holes, and through that work we've identified 12 main mineralized zones. I'm showing two here. These are the two main ones. They're the Claza and the BRX zone. They're separated by about 800 meters, and they run for about 1.6 kilometers each. They're structurally controlled epithermal style vein hosting high-grade gold and silver. The deposits come to surface. In fact, there's only about a meter of overburden veneer on above the bedrock. So all the mineralization comes to surface, and we've chased it down to 520 meters down dip. We've also done a number of resource estimates. The last one was in 2018. One thing I'll point out is the Western BRX zone. So that's kind of at the bottom left, mid-bottom of the screen. So you can just see by the heat map and the block model, most of those blocks in the Western BRX zone are greater than 5 grams gold equivalent. So it's kind of the key driver for both the resource and the economics. First, if we look at, though, I'll just summarize the main deposit. So we're sitting at a Brown and Global, around 11 million tons at about 5 grams gold equivalent. That gives us about 1.6 million ounces gold equivalent. with a split of about 1.2 million ounces in gold and about 28 million ounces of silver. But again, that Western BRX zone is the main driver for that. Also for the economics, John already talked about this, so I won't spend too much time. But again, this was done at $14.50 gold and $17 silver, and you'll see that core zone, the Western BRX zone, it didn't even have a pit on it. Obviously now with the, where metal prices are, you see a pit on it. And in fact, we're going to be putting a small pit this year. So this is going to be the target of the DSO, so direct shipping ore bulk sample that we're going to be doing this year. We've already obviously delineated the zone quite well in drilling, but this past year, 2025, we went in and did 34 trenches across the zone. So basically averaging about 10 to 15 meters a trench along the trace of the zone, and got some pretty spectacular results. The highlights are shown here. There's, pick one, right? Like it's pretty impressive. There's also quite a few 20 and 30 grammers that didn't even make this list. Again, it's narrow. It's between about a half a meter to 2 meters wide, but the grade more than makes up for it. So what does this stuff look like? So obviously I had a picture on the first slide, but again, it's very oxidized, probably supergene enriched, hence the grade. Very easy digging, and the coloration makes it very obvious. So we think, and again with the DSO, grade control is going to be the biggest thing out here. So having that color, that color signature is going to be key for us. And then a few, kind of higher points here, higher level points with the project that we're planning. So we're looking at probably realistically around 6,000 tons we'll take out. It's going to be pretty simple: dig, crush, truck, and ship to smelter. No water use on site, no explosives, no milling. So it's going to be a pretty clean and tidy operation. Okay, so future plans, obviously, or next steps, I guess you could say. So the DSO program, assuming we get that permit, will be done this year. And then John and I talked about this the other day, but getting at least one drill on site for, say, the latter half of the season, I think would be pretty important for us. We have a lot of targets that would be fun to test, and then again, trying to get that, the economics back in line to the current metal prices and the new processing options that we've been working on through our metallurgical work. And then kind of in closing here, I wanted to do a shout out to the entire team, but specifically Brad Thrall, who came on board a couple of years ago. He's our managing director. He's been a big help for the team and for the company. And a few other people that I want to mention is Doug Eaton. Doug actually brought us this idea. He did something similar back in the Keno district back in the early 80s. And he came to us about just over a year ago with this idea. And then also Cal Everett. Cal Everett came on as a financial advisor about 3 or 4 months ago. And Cal has been a huge help in telling the story, and he's also bought a lot of stock in since the time he came on too, so that's been a big help. So anyway, thanks everyone for coming. I'll be at my booth for the duration of the next 2 days.